Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it. What's that? While we're doing this, you can go to Mind Mount Models.
Yes.
And ask.
When you're on the page, there's a little pop-up that says, let me know if you have any questions.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's pretty fancy. That's a pretty fancy website they got. It's much fancier than it was before.
So is this going to be the world's shortest podcast? We're just going to go there on the website and ask questions?
Yeah. That's it. We won't even bother getting Ron on the podcast. We won't get him out of that green room. We'll just go.
We won't even talk. We're just going to type in the questions. This is going to be silent.
It'll be an hour and 5 minutes of typing sounds. Now I feel like I'm probably going to insert one of those things where there used to be a bit where you'd hear typing, and then they push the thing back and ding and typing.
Yeah.
You know, what was that's from a long
typewriter.
Time. I know, but it's from a long time. I know it's from a typewriter.
You're a young guy. I wasn't sure if you knew what a typewriter was.
All right, smart guy. How old are you, David?
I am 35 years young.
Yeah. Do you even remember a time in your life when there wasn't a computer in your house?
Yes, I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We
got our first computer in 95, so I was 5 years old. And I remember, 96. And I remember the family room in the upstairs part of the house where the computer ended up being. But I do remember that being an open space. And I used to play with my Legos in that spot until we got the computer and the desk and had dial-up. And it was a whole big thing.
Yeah, we had dial-up.
Yeah. And I even grew up in a house where we only had one TV. And now my house, I have like 5 smart TVs throughout the house, which is bizarre to me.
Yes. Yeah, we only have 2 TVs in our house. Yeah, only 2. I just bought a new 65-inch TV. Man, that's sweet. That is sweet. It is so good. I even watched preseason hockey on it. And I don't watch preseason hockey very much, but I just wanted to see what it was like. But you know what? The other TV I had was a 55-inch. And it said it would stop showing. There's a Canadian version of HBO. In Canada, there's something called Crave, and it hosts HBO and Paramount and Disney Plus. And anyways, if you wanted to continue, finally a message started coming up on the TV. Any TV built before September 15th, 2018 will no longer work on Crave. So I had to go buy a new TV. Give me a reason to buy a new TV. That's what happens with TVs now. They don't quit working, but they slow down on the technology.
Yeah.
Like I had the same thing in Florida. Go ahead, David. I cut you off.
I was going to say, I wasn't even going to add that, talking about first time having a computer, my grandparents on my mom's side, they had, for the longest time, they had a rotary phone. So I even used a rotary phone in the 90s. Which not many kids my age at that time even knew what a rotary phone was, but I learned how to use a rotary phone.
And my son kept his grandmother's rotary phone. He's got it prominently displayed in his place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we knew a model railroader around here that was, as model railroaders tend to be cheap sometimes. He would not pay the extra, whatever it was, $0.25 a month or something like that for touch tone service. So he kept his rotary phone as long as he could.
I don't mind technology. I don't mind trying to keep up with technology. I don't understand it all, but I don't mind it. I kind of like technology. I like the world advancing forward. My TV in Florida, I have ESPN Plus because they play most of the Leaf games. And it started, like every 15 minutes, the thing would stop and there'd be, shuddering, and then it would start up again. And I said to my wife, I said, I think the technology on this TV is shot. And we got a new one, and it works much, much better. So it's really nowadays, TVs don't crap out because you blew a bulb. Nowadays, they crap out because they can't keep up with the technology.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up throwing away good TVs. Okay, let's get our guest in here. Our guest. So first off, let's introduce everybody. We have David, all the way from Whiting, Indiana. Just down the street from Anderson, Indiana, which is the home of Daniel.
Yeah, we're kind of neighbors.
Yeah, Daniel. Oh my God.
Here we go again.
Yeah, Daniel.
Oh, you want?
I'm not going to tell you why you couldn't hear me, but hello.
You were a little distracted, weren't you?
No, I was talking.
Oh, you were talking, but nothing was happening.
Yeah, I put myself on mute for a moment.
Ah, there you go. And then we have Marcus, a.k.a. the noob, a.k.a. the most eligible bachelor in the AML nation.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. And you don't mind that the noob.
I think I'm the one that sprung that on you all when we were talking about Instagram. I think one day I couldn't remember what my Instagram handle was, and I found out it was mnoob, something like that. I changed it, but no, it doesn't bother me.
That's a cool nickname, the noob.
It works. The noob. I'm the noob.
Yeah, it's kind of like being the Gipper. All right, so tonight we're going to talk to Ron Kleiss. This is on the free channel. So Ron, come on into the studio.
Hello, guys.
Hello. Now, before we get to, I was just about to say, this is on the free channel. So this is sponsored by White Rose Hobbies in York, Pennsylvania, at 4401 West Market Street, right down there in York, Pennsylvania. And there's operators standing by, 717-505-8676. And tell them Lionel sent you.
I just got my package in the mail today from them.
Oh, did you? How long ago did you order it?
I ordered it as we're recording. I ordered it the Sunday, so it took. They sent it out on Monday, and it took 2 days shipping to get to me. I'm sorry, they sent it on Tuesday, so it took 2 days shipping to me. It came undamaged and perfectly packed, and I got a free sticker.
Oh wow! Excellent.
Nice.
So we're going to talk to Ron Kleiss tonight, who is the proud owner of Mind Mount Models.
Yeehaw.
What year did you start it?
Yesterday, am I allowed to say the date? October 1st was our 7-year anniversary. So in 2018.
Wow. You've come a long way in 7 years.
I'm chipping away, trying to get things going and get more kits out and stuff, and coming out with a new line of stuff. And it's an interesting one. I'm going to give it a shot. It's an oddball that doesn't have to do with structures, but it goes around the structures. Every time I'm at shows, and you've seen my displays with all my buildings and stuff on them, and I always do the scenery and everything, I go overboard. And a lot of people comment on my dirt roads and my dirt around my buildings and stuff. So I was people would ask, "Oh, wow, what's that? Is that Woodland Scenics? Is that Arizona Minerals or Rocks or whatever? Scenic Express. What are you using? That's really nice dirt." I said, "It's just dirt." So this is a shovel that I would get out my backyard and dig it and dry it in the oven and put it on the dioramas and stuff. Actually, the very first batch, the very first couple of dioramas that I did, it was leftover dirt from when I was a teenager that I got in my mom's backyard. So that was like 40 years ago. I got this pile of dirt. Oh yeah, it was perfect color, and I used that up on the first few models that I did. And so everybody would ask me, "Where's this? What is it? What kind of brand is it?" And I said, "It's just dirt. It's just dirt." So we were at the Novi show, the NMRA Novi show, a couple months ago, and my wife's like, people are asking about the dirt, and she's like, "You really got to sell that. You got to package it or do something with it." So over the next couple of months, we were talking about it, and I went to the National Narrow Gauge show in St. Louis last month, and people are asking about the dirt. And so, we're sitting in the hotel, my wife and I, and we're talking about what happened at the show. I was like, man, people keep asking about that dirt. She's like, you have to sell it. That's it. You're going to sell this dirt. So we're kind of brainstorming what kind of name we can come up with it, like magic mud or, magic Mine Mount mud, or just all different names. And I said, how about just dirt?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Everybody keeps saying, what do you use? I said, it's just dirt. So we're coming out with this new line of products, just dirt. And I have it graded for, fine, medium, and coarse, and rubble and stuff like that. And it's just a bag of dirt from my backyard, basically, that I've sterilized and cleaned up and packaged it. And I'm pretty excited about it. And I actually got 2 different colors right now. There's a third color in the works, but I'm not sure how well it's going to work. But the other color is like an orange clay, and that is actually from a cemetery.
Haunted dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Ghostly dirt. So this orange clay it has a really nice color to it, and I use that on some of my models and scenery too. But I'm giving the just dirt. It's like a brownish road dirt type stuff, and I call it road dirt from the just dirt line. And then it's orange clay. And I'm not getting in the trees. I'm not becoming Woodland Scenics or Scenic Express or anything. I'm just going to be selling the dirt that people always ask about on the at the shows and stuff. So look out for that in the new upcoming train shows and on the website and our mailing list and stuff. Sign it up. MyMountMiles.com.
Here's what I'm hearing. Ron has decided he wants a layout extension of his basement, but he needs more basement. And he's figured out how to sell that outfill from digging his basement.
Dig it out and sell it.
Shovel by shovel. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yep. Instead of giving away the free landfill, and selling this stuff.
Right?
Yep.
That's like when my house was built. My golfing buddy was the guy that picked out the lot. Him and his dad were in construction, but he had moved to Ontario. His dad was from Western Canada. And he worked for a pipeline company, and he was just a fun guy to be around, and he had bought this lot, and he was like all excited about it because it was built on a sandbar, because there was a lot of underground water, and there was a pond at the end of the street. There used to be a pond at the end of the street, and he said, I found this lot. And anyways, his dad got sick, so he had to move back to run the family construction company. So I bought it. He says, you're going to love this lot. It's 80% sand. And when they were digging the hole for the foundation, it was sand. And I scooped up 3 bags full of sand, and I still got 2 bags. I never used it. It's like there's so much sand I bought, and it was like pure, beautiful beach sand. But wow. You end up, you're just taking the stuff right off your own property. So what size of bags are they?
They're going to be 6-ounce bags. I hemmed and hawed and tried to figure out, how much it's going to be. 6-ounce bags by weight, not by volume. And that way it fits on my display racks, and it's a decent amount. I mean, it goes a long way. Like I said, I had that one bag. It wasn't a big bag. I used it from my mom's backyard from when I was a teenager, and that lasted for years. But now that I'm doing so many displays on models and everything, all that went away, and now I'm moving on to new dirt. North Jersey dirt.
But it's just dirt.
It's just dirt, baby.
It's dirt, man.
As you were saying it, I was thinking, well, that would be the name, just dirt.
Yep. That's what we were, like I said, we were brainstorming all kinds of names. I said, I got it. Just dirt. My wife's like, yeah, that's it. That's what we've got to do. That's just dirt.
Yeah, because it's exactly what it is. And how do you dry it out?
Well, when I was only doing small batches for myself, it was in the oven, because I just would run it for 20, 30 minutes and I was done. Right now I'm doing it on my grill. That way I can, pressure wash it and clean the thing out, and if there's any weird residue or anything, but it seems like it's doing fine. I've checked it. The hamburgers have a nice dirt flavor to them.
Earthy.
Earthy. Yeah, I got an old big metal tray and stuff that I put it on, and the grill's good. So if there's any weird fumes, but it seems like, since it's just dirt and really not many organic materials and stuff in it, seems to be doing fine.
Because it's just dirt.
Absolutely. We're coming out with new kits and everything too.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that, but So
So how do you keep the grill marks off of the dirt though?
Well, they get a nice char on them. Actually, one of the first times I used the grill, I was like, oh, let me speed this process up. I'll crank it all the way up. I'll put the dirt in there. I'll run it for less time. I opened the lid after my timer went off, and like the whole thing was burnt. I'm like, how the heck the dirt just burned?
Burn dirt. Huh?
Burn dirt. And like all the edges and stuff were burnt. I was like, holy, all right. Well, luckily it's just dirt. So,
were you able to, like, was it something that you would use later in something, or was it just not?
Well, it was way different than the color I was going for. So not all of it was ruined. That first batch, like I saved maybe half of that. The other part was like a lot darker. It was like burnt toast.
So when do you think people will be able to find it on your website?
Probably in the next few days I'll put it on the website, and I'm going to premiere it pretty much at we've got the Timonium, the Great Scale Model Train Show, I think it's called, in Timonium, Maryland. That's coming up at the end of October. So that's the first show that I'll show it at. I'll display it and have my beautiful displays there and everything, showing it off. But on the website, if you sign up on our mailing list, you'll get a notice when it comes out, probably in the next literally few days. I got the labels pretty much packed, done, and I packed up all the bags tonight right before we hopped on the airplane to come to the studio.
And is it like Ziploc bags or something?
Yeah, heavier duty Ziploc bags. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And that's at mindmountmodels.com. Which
not White Rose Nurseries. Nope.
No. Well, yeah, there was never a Mind Mount Nurseries around my house. Mindmountmodels.com. Boom. And it's a great. So have you been working on this website? Because it seems even more spectacular than the last time I looked at it.
Now just updating some of the pictures as I get new models on there and stuff. Like that one on the main homepage, you got that big screenshot of like the oceanfront, waterfront town. That's a lot of the new kits that I have out. I update that and I'll change that picture every once in a while, put new buildings up there and stuff. So, but GoDaddy handles most of the background of it for the web development.
And on this main shot, the main page, there's the Crown Transfer building. It was a limited kit, wasn't it? Limited run?
That one's a limited run, yeah, but everything else that you see in there is available. And like the lighthouse and the green buildings and the pier and everything, that's all good.
And did the Crown Transfer eventually sell out, or do you still have some of those?
That did really well. I mean, there was an initial surge right in the beginning, and it did really well. And then over the next year, I guess, it finished up. And then when the heck did it end? I forget when it ended, but the last one sold, and I was like, phew. It helped pay for my son's college.
How big of a run did you make? What
150.
So, I'm 150 because I'm sure this is not your last limited run kit that we'll see from you.
Definitely no. Nope. There's a couple.
So 150. You got to get in there by at least 149, or you're toast.
Exactly. Yep. Because it was a beast to pack up, to design, to build, to pack up. It was a lot of parts to that kit, but it was worth it. I mean, I got really good reception from it. A lot of people. One guy bought the kit just so he can get measurements off of it, and he built it in N scale. I was like, dude, he's like, I just wanted to ask permission. I wanted to, he was reaching out to me. He stopped in at Springfield actually last year. And he's like, I just want to make sure it's okay if I can. I said, absolutely. I want to see this thing in N scale. And he got really close to it. The actual look of it. It turned out great.
Now, how about
really neat?
How about Ribka hardware?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Is it limited run, or is it just keep building them until?
Nope. That one's always in stock.
Have you got
all the rest of my kits are always in stock. Yep.
Okay. And how many would you like? What kind of and then don't answer any questions you don't want to if they're too personal about the business or whatever, or too.
Mm-hmm.
How many do you feel like you got to keep? How many of each kit do you feel like you got to keep in stock so that when somebody orders it, you're pretty much ready to send them out?
Oh, well, in the beginning, I'll make a bunch because there's always that initial purchase, like when I get it. Yeah, not Serge LaBelle, but Serge. You get, I make a whole bunch of them in the beginning, and then just for regular stock after the hype dies down, I keep on maybe between 5 and 10 just to have there. So
right, yeah. So that when
it makes it worth it. Yeah, it makes it worth it if I'm not going to make 2 or 3, especially with some of the smaller kits, because then I got to set the laser up. I got to get all the parts out, the print up the instructions and everything, get everything ready. And if it's only going to be for 2 or 3, the amount of money I'm going to make off it's not worth it. So I'll knock out 10 of them at least.
Right. And you'll do that when you get down to 2 or 3, like.
Yeah. Or if I look over, I'm like, oh shoot, there I'm out. I'll I'll make one real quick, and the customer will get it in a day or 2. So.
And does your stock? Usually, it looks like your stock room is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I got some spare space. I didn't take up the whole basement with the train room, so I got a decent amount. There's a whole half of the basement that I have to clear out, and I can expand. But I'm okay right now. But I'm getting new storage bins and ways of organizing all the parts, and it's always streamlining if I can.
Can I ask you a question? And again, if you don't want to, like, I'm interested in an honest answer, but. Like, do you still have the same enthusiasm that you did 7 years ago?
I love it every day. Yep. I absolutely love doing this. It's, yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's my favorite part of the hobby is structure building. I mean, I love operations. I love building a layout. I'm actually starting a new layout. We can talk about that a little bit later if we want to, but yeah, starting a new layout, and I'm excited about that. I mean, the hobby's in the blood, as everybody says, so it's not going away. And I'm sitting here coming up with cool ideas to build for a kit, and I enjoy seeing other people build it and make it their own. So, yep, absolutely, it hasn't died at all.
How much time before, like, from the time you get an idea in your mind, generally does it take to put everything together and get a kit ready to sell?
It depends on the size of the kit. Obviously, the complexity. There are some that are a lot easier. I can knock out in a couple. Nothing's ever taken me a couple weeks because I hem and haw about the directions. But let's say a month, I can knock one out, no problem. Designing it, drawing it up, building a prototype, building the display model, going overboard with the display model because that's how I do it. I just love building scenes and stuff, and then writing the directions and everything. Let's say a month. Sometimes a little quicker than that. The bigger kits could take a month and a half to 2. I have a full-time job. This isn't my full-time job, so it's again, it's at night and on the weekends.
And are we getting closer and closer to it being your full-time job?
That's a while away.
Okay,
but it's definitely supplementing my daytime job. And now that my son is going in school for engineering and stuff, that little nut is going to be hard to crack for a while, and keep paying that off. And
right, sure. So it's like, it sounds like it, like as we've followed along since you started, it seems like it's been nothing but a roaring success.
Oh, I think so. For me, for the customers, all around, I think people really enjoyed it, myself included. So I'm pretty happy with the results.
One of the things especially is your instructions. Like, we've talked about it before, but you have like the best instructions.
They are good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I really try and go overboard with those, because I've built some kits where it's black and white typed instructions, no pictures. I've had something where it's like bad pictures or no instructions at all. So when I first started, I told my wife, I said, I hate writing reports, but I got to do these instructions over the top. And you can see all my instructions on the website. I have them all up there. So people have an idea what they look like.
Right. I'm looking at them now. I'm looking at them now because I always admire your instructions. Your instructions alone are worth going to the website. I mean, if you went to the mindmountmodels.com website and just looked at the instructions, that would enthuse lots of people just to buy a model, because the instructions are so good. I mean,
thank you. Yeah, check out the customer galleries too. I love
just looking at those.
Send me the pictures. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got some really cool builds from people that they send them in.
Let's see, customer galleries. Let me see. I'm going back to the main page. Where do I find customer galleries?
Should be right underneath where the kit directions were.
Oh, yeah, there it is right there. You
got 3 of them to choose from.
They're scrolling. Scrolling. Look at that. Oh, yeah, beautiful. And you have kits of all, like, difficulty, right? I mean,
different sizes and skill levels and stuff. Yeah, there are definitely ones when I'm at a show and somebody's like, these are interesting. I never did it before. I point them in the direction of certain kits where they're not going to be overwhelmed, and they're like always worried for some reason. Even myself, when I first did a wood kit, I was terrified. I'm like, oh my god, I never did this. I'm used to plastic, and basically, I just tell them the only difference is you're using wood glue instead of Tester's model glue, plastic glue or something. That's pretty much it.
You should be using, Daniel.
Aleene's tacky glue.
Yeah, I use that on certain situations. I use wood glues. I got 2 different Aleenes. Let's see, I got the tacky one and I got like the thinner one. One's like super thick.
We learned all about Aleene's glue, or at least I did. I learned all about Aleene's glue because Marcus glues down all his track with Aleene's, and up to that point, I'd never even heard of it.
That's a good idea. Instead of the caulk, that's actually a pretty good idea. I'll have to try that.
And he says this mention of Aleene's tacky glue all the time now on the podcast feels like it's the secret handshake now.
I know.
Well, it's not an easy name to say. You have to purposely go Aleene's.
Canada.
Exactly.
As long as Aleene's not walking around the train show with an umbrella and a Speedo, I think we might be okay.
Right.
No, I mean, you never know. Could sell stuff.
Yeah,
selling your dirt.
I'm not walking around with an umbrella and a Speedo, I'll tell you that. They'll throw the dirt at me.
And when you go to Springfield, now we'll come back to, I got other questions. We're already chewed up half the show. When you go to Springfield, you guys now have, because I was only thinking of Springfield because today I was filling out my contract for our tables. And when you go to Springfield, you're in part of, what do they call it? The Craftsman
Courtyard.
Craftsman Courtyard, yeah. Now,
that's great. Yeah, a bunch of good guys there.
And is Chris Wallace one of those guys? He's I think didn't he say he was one of them? I thought he said he was going to join those guys or something. Anybody remember that?
Wallace Locomotive Works?
Yes.
That one?
Yeah.
No, he's not there yet. Maybe he's planning to. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's going to be. Maybe this will be his first year.
He's going to set up a card table off to the side and work his way.
I think he said he was in. I think he went to Springfield last year, but then he said this year he's going to be in the Craftsman Courtyard or something like that. Yeah.
I think he was working his way over that way.
Yeah. Now I got a question for you,
all right,
Ron.
Go for it.
If you were selling 4 3D printed toilets in HO scale, how much would you sell them for? And they're painted white too. They're already pre-painted. They come
painted and everything. All right.
4.
Does it have water in it, or do you have to provide your own water? I won't say what else might be in there. Let's see. 4, I would say pre-painted, $7-8.
Wow. See, this is where we're at. We got to help this young lad out. He's selling them for like $3.99 a package, and I'm like, no. You got to do a little better than that.
This would be a good Kelly question for everybody.
Have you looked at yeah, there you go. Have you looked at Ron's detail parts here? I don't know. He's not real far off in that. You can pick up barrel sets for $5.
Yes.
10-piece 55-gallon drums for $5. He's not charging a whole lot either.
Well, they're not. No, not. You wouldn't charge a whole lot, but I was thinking a little bit more. So spools of rope, 5 pieces, $7 in O scale. That seems reasonable.
The workbench is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
all of the tools on it.
That's actually HO scale. That's HO scale.
Yeah. It is. There's bar clamps really on the side.
Yep.
Screwdrivers,
really
wrenches.
That one.
A circular saw.
Condiment trays. Assorted.
That was when condiment trays. I did that. I designed those for Krabby Jackies, and they're actually a hot seller.
Are they really?
Yeah, look. I just packed up another order right before I got on here. Packed up another. People ordered 2 packs of those things. I sell those all the time. I was really surprised. I'm like, I made them for the kit. I'm like, I'm gonna just put them out there, and they sell like crazy.
And I like I'm looking at the loading dock bumper. That's pretty cool too. I like that. It's a really cool piece. I've never seen that. Yeah.
That was for, I designed that for the Crown Transfer, that limited run. They sell really well. Yeah. I like the way they turned out.
Yeah, like
they're fun.
There is tons and tons. You know what? If it was up, okay, well, wait a minute. Now let me see before I speak out. Okay, so if you scroll down and you just go to shop, and then all products show up, and it's HO scale structures, limited run, S scale, accessories, roofing materials, 3D printed details. I like that. And then it's just a separate page for that. The Fresnel lens.
Fresnel.
Have a lighthouse with that one.
Oh, yep. Really? Is that what that is? The lighthouse?
Yeah. That came from the lighthouse when I designed that. Yeah.
All right. And now I see the concrete bumper, but I don't see it in HO scale. I only see it in O and S. Is it
with the way you're looking at it, it's from newest, and I put the HO out, and I had to design the S and O scale. I had to kind of bump them up a little bit. I didn't print them out right away. So as I put them on the website, that's, for some reason, it always defaults to the newest item. And so as you look at that stuff, that's how I put it onto the website. I'm not sure why it does that, but it does.
And like all small industries in the model railroad world, you probably do the website yourself as well as doing everything else.
Oh yeah, we're a mom and pop shop.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's kind of the cool thing about. I mean, that's one of the cool things about 3D printed parts with like Wallace Locomotive Works, Chris Wallace. I mean, because of 3D printing, he's been able to start his own business and get some great enjoyment out of it. I said that once a long time ago. That I think one of the other things that model railroading offers people, if you're so inclined, is the opportunity to start a small business and see what it's like and see if you can make it go and see if you can be a success. And I think that's one of the advantages of it's another part of the hobby that you can really enjoy.
Yeah, it's fun. And the good thing, like with the detail parts and stuff, everybody is starting to have them because of the prevalence of 3D printers at home and stuff. And like I said, Wallace is doing it, and Mini Prints and me and all these other guys are doing it. But we kind of don't step on each other's toes because we kind of we're in our own lanes of like what we make. So it's kind of like we complement each other with everything else. Like everybody else fills in certain parts where I fill in other parts. I'll have like unique stuff that I just need for my kits. And then I'm like, okay, since I designed it for the kit, might as well put it out on the website. Not everything goes that way. I mean, some things are pretty specific for the kit, but if it's just a generic item or something like that, I'm like, oh, let me put it on the website. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 it's starting to sell. I'm like, okay, surprised me. Like those condiment trays. I was like, who's going to buy these things? They're selling like hotcakes.
And the dumpster's cool. Now, so when you come up with an idea for 3D printed detail that might not necessarily be on any of your kits, do you go and check the other sites to make sure you're not reproducing something?
Yeah, I mean, there's some certain things that you have to have, like everybody has trash cans and barrels and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But I mean, a workbench or like a Fresnel lens, I just did it because I needed it. And I put it on my website. If somebody else has it, I'm sure there's somebody else that has a Fresnel lens. I'm not sure if it's, mine has a hole up through the middle, so you can put an LED flasher in there if you wanted to and light the whole thing up. Like
now my question on the Fresnel lens, does it work? Is it prototypical?
I tried. Yeah, no.
How far does that beam go?
10 nautical miles.
Nice.
I like the junked car chassis. That's kind of an original idea. I like that one.
When I first came out with that, I drew that. That's made up with a bunch of just oddball shapes, and I threw that thing together. And I painted it. I put it on the display. The guy's looking. He's like, "What year is that? What kind of car?" I'm like, I said, "Dude, I don't know." I said, "It literally is just." I looked at a basic car chassis, and I just kind of replicated it. There's no year. I didn't get any blueprints. I did nothing like that. He's like, "Oh, are you sure? I think it's like a Chevy something." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's just me."
It's like, yes, it is. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is exactly the year and make you want it to be.
Yep.
Concrete blocks it all.
And I'm pretty sure
It's a great piece.
I'm pretty sure it's like from a 46 Ford pickup F100.
Yeah, with the flare sides. Yeah.
Yeah, almost positive. So what's the newest? So how many new kits do you put out a year?
Yeah, some years are a lot more. I mean, I don't keep track. They just come out as I get them ready. And it could be 3, or it could be 5 or 6 or 7. When I was doing the big limited run, that ate up a lot of time. So before and after, well, definitely before, my time was dedicated to that. So smaller kits were put off to the side. But I mean, I have a lot lined up, and some of them are already drawn up. I have a whole like a Main Street shops designed. I just put out a grill, the Glenn's Greasy Spoon Grill, and that's the first kit in the Harbor Street shops series, kind of. So I got 3 other buildings that I'm working on for that, all different, assorted things, little buildings that you would see along the street of a downtown or something like that. I have other big ones that I have designed up, either, basic designs. I haven't maybe hammered out all the details, or even just drawings and sketches. I'm sitting there at lunch sometimes, and I just have a sketch pad, and I'll try and come up with different ideas. I mean, that's how I came up with the Crown Transfer. That was a little inspiration from a mill I saw, but all the rest of the stuff that I added onto that thing is all just sitting in my car seat while I'm eating lunch or something like that and sketching stuff out.
Do you ever use just like different to kind of get your inspiration? Do you ever use I'm thinking
like Shorpy and stuff like that? Shorpy. Have you ever gone to Shorpy?
Bomb.
That is a wormhole. I could get lost. All of a sudden I'm looking over and I'm like, holy cow, it's like 1:00 and I got to get up at 6. Yes, there is a 6 a.m. Lionel. I promise you. Yeah, there's 2 6 a.m. or 2 6s.
The only thing I know about early mornings is that whenever I go to the hospital for an MRI, I always take in the middle of the night because they don't fill those spots up and you can get it done right away. But then I always end up getting a red light ticket driving through Toronto in the middle of the night. So that's what I know about. That's what I know about the AM. That's all I know about the AM. Is it's all about red light tickets.
Nothing but trouble.
This Glenn's Greasy Spoon, that's a great little building. The compression's nice on it. That'll fit in a relatively small footprint, but you've got everything that you expect in a greasy spoon. There's the probably, well, this one's the size of a reach-in, but the walk-in cooler on the back. You got your little lamp over the back door there. All of that's great. Love the vent roof and all. But my favorite part of this kit, man, the thing that really makes this pop is that fantastic billboard sign on it with the spatula. Yeah, that sign really, really makes that.
Yep,
that's a great job.
That's the first part that I thought of, actually. And I needed a name, and my mom's husband is Glenn, and he's a chef. And, he's at big hotels, casinos, and stuff like that. And he always, talked about, I want to get out of that place. I just want to get a nice little diner type thing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to name it Glenn's Greasy Spoon.
Nice.
So I had my mom have him sign a piece of paper and send it to me, and that's his actual signature. I did the same thing for my Randy's Auto Repair. My cousin Randy, his signature is on the top of the sign too.
Well, I really appreciate your choice of typeface. We can geek out here a little bit on it. Your typeface is great for this. It really sets off the feel of the building.
Yeah, I try and that's one thing that takes a long time is figuring out lettering. I have one main lettering that I use for like my mount models type of lettering, but when I start doing signs and stuff for the kits and stuff, I sit there and I'm like looking at all of there's so many different fonts nowadays. It drives me nuts. It's overwhelming, and then I'll start looking at 2 that look exactly the same, but then there's a slight curve. It's just that's a pet peeve of mine. Trying to figure out which font to use for certain signs.
Well, it really makes or breaks a sign or a structure that way. A badly out of date font, something that didn't exist back then, or just doesn't look right, can really kill it. So it does take a lot of time to think out that signage. I mean, real people professionally figure those sorts of things out, and making a kit is no different in that aspect. You have to have that skill level as well and figure out what looks good. And this one looks nice. I like it.
Thank you.
So real people do it. What about unreal people?
Well, I mean, Ron's not a professional sign maker there, so
I'm getting paid for this, so I am a pro.
Could I say something that may be slightly controversial, but I mean it as a compliment?
Good.
Go for it.
Wow, where have I heard that before?
Your products and your buildings that you offer, they fit that really nice niche that flows with like a Foss scale or a downtown deco style of craftsman kit, to where you can build a diorama or a scene with all those, and they kind of all play. They kind of not blend together, but they all work really nicely.
They play well together. Yep.
Kind of like you look through like a Walther's catalog, and like your Walther's kits look really well next to a DPM kit. Like it's within that same kind of stylistic range.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So,
there was one guy that did a diorama. It must have been like a foot square type of thing, and he had 3 buildings on it, and one was a Foss scale, one was one of mine, and another one I think was a Bar Mills or something like that. I forget what it was, but the way he painted them and built them all together, it became a great scene. Because I mean, they're all structures, so and they're going to have a slight style with mine, a slight style with Doug's at Foss scale, and they're going to have their own slight feel to them, but they're still buildings. And every building out there, if you look in the real world, they're different. They're going to be, even if they're right next to each other in a town or something, they're going to have unless there's like the HOV or what's where the houses are. What are the laws? Like if the downtown requires you to paint
the HOA, like an HOA.
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah. Then things start looking bland and blah. But a real nice town where you want to walk around and go to the eateries and shops and stuff, it has character. It has different types of looks to it, and they all play well together. And definitely see that. I know what you're saying.
Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Do we have time for me to digress with a short story?
Well, let's see. A short Lionelism. Yeah, we'll go for it.
All right. So my experience with HOAs is my house in Florida. I never had any experience with HOAs until my house in Florida. And my wife one day says, I'd like the back door to the lanai painted blue from the bedroom. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do that. So I paint the door blue. This is like the second year we'd been there, and I paint the door blue and everything, and it's really nice, and she really likes it. And about a week later, or a week and a half later, this guy comes to the door who I didn't recognize, and he says, you painted your back door blue. I went, uh-huh. I'm thinking, what are you walking around behind the houses, casing them out or something? And he goes, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't paint it blue? Well, it's not in the HOA regulations. And I'm like, what's that? I mean, I knew there was HOA regulations when I bought it, but I mean, I figured it was like, you couldn't park an old clunker car in the driveway or something like that. And the guy goes, you can't paint your door blue without getting permission. Nobody else has a blue door. I'm like, whoa.
You should have said I'm from Canada. I thought you were talking about trains. HOA.
Exactly. I don't know what you're talking about. I had zero idea. Okay.
HOA?
Yeah, it's
See,
HOA.
I would have said, I says, well, you're about to have a black eye, and I don't know if anyone else is supposed to have a black eye.
Well, I went along. I asked some questions, and I found that was not acceptable. So I went back to whatever color. There's like a card of like 4 colors. You can pick bland, blah, uninspired, and one other one.
And pale.
And pale, yeah. Bland, blah, uninspired, and pale are the 4 colors you can choose. How much is the bags? Just dirt?
They're going to be $7.
$7.
Now, I did go to a bunch of different websites to see what everybody's charging and stuff because I'm sitting there. I was hemming and hawing on that too, trying to figure out how much do I charge for just dirt. But there's actually a decent amount of work that goes into it. So
Yeah, because you dig it out, you dig it out, or you find the dirt you want, and I'm sure that as time goes along, that's like all the coal on all of my live loads on my layout is washed up on the shore of Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia, and a friend of mine had bushels and bushels of this stuff, and I mean,
that's cool.
Yeah, and it's just like it's HO scale coal. It comes from the shores of Nova Scotia. And so I'm assuming as time goes along, you'll probably be driving along somewhere, or you might go out west or whatever and go, wait a minute. That's
a cool color.
Yeah, that's a cool color. So other than drying it out, what else do you have to do? You have to sift it, I guess?
Yeah, actually, I invested in some laboratory sifters because I wasn't sure what size mesh. I had regular kitchen strainer type stuff that I was using when I was just using it myself. But of course, I went over the top, and I have 4 different grades of just dirt now. So I got these laboratory sieves and stuff, and shake it around and separate it all out, and then put it in the bags, print up the labels, and staple them on, and hang it on the hook.
Have you thought of ever selling any of your products in retail locations?
A lot of my fellow craftsman guys, the guys that I are in the Craftsman Courtyard, a bunch of them sell through retail and stuff. I don't want to go that direction. I just want to go train shows and my website.
Okay. Yeah. But if you ever did go retail, you'd know where you'd go, right?
Oh, absolutely. White Rose Hobbies.
Exactly.
In York, Pennsylvania.
At 4401 West Market Street. And tell just before you tell them Lionel sent. We have a contest. We'll talk about that at the end. Tell them Lionel sent you.
I really want to pay that much for my own kit, though.
Right.
Yeah, but you can buy Jelly Bellies.
Oh, okay. That's worth it. I love those. What flavor is your favorite?
Right?
That's a no-brainer. They have a whole page of Jelly Bellies. It's a total no-brainer. All right, so let's talk about the new layout. What's this all about?
All right, so the new layout is the Philadelphia Belt Line. My last layout was a HON3 up in the mountains, freelance type of thing. And it just wasn't doing it for me. And I ripped it all out starting back in January. And I started designing a layout that was based on Delaware Avenue along the waterfront in Philadelphia. Back in 1893 or something like that. Pennsylvania Railroad, B&O, and Reading, they all, to keep the monopoly of the Pennsylvania Railroad from taking over the waterfront in Philadelphia, they all banded together and started this Philadelphia Beltline. It's actually still in operation today, but it mainly just has CSX trains, and it's a lot shorter. It's not the whole waterfront. It's just on the south end of Philly now. And so a lot of street running, a lot of waterfront car floats, big warehouses, all city scenes, urban, a lot of industrial stuff. And there's one part that when I have the main train room that I have, it's about 14 by 15. It's the same room that my old layout was in. When that's pretty much up and running and I am happy with the operations, years ago, I had started a Canal Street module type of thing. And it'd be more like a Fremo type of layout. And I designed the main layout so that I punch a hole through the wall and have a track come out into the main basement where my workshop is for my mount models. And the Canal Street will connect onto that. So when I'm building the layout in phases instead of trying to build this grandiose layout in the area all in one, doing all the bench work and then all the track and stuff. I started printing it out in like 1/12 scale or something like that. And I was printing it in chunks. And I'm like, wait a second, why don't I build it the same way I'm printing it out? Get this one section up and running so I can have some trains and have some fun. I started a round robin it with a few guys that come over, and I help at my house. I go over to their house. They help over there. And that makes me. It forces me to put time into working on the layout instead of just working on the business, because I really do want to have a layout and run trains and remember why I got into this hobby instead of just building and creating my structures and stuff. It's a lot more operations based layout. I ran the idea by a bunch of people, and they gave me feedback, and I changed some things and updated it and stuff. So I'm pretty excited about this. It's I got the backdrop up. I got the main benchwork installed for and the next thing I have to do is just paint. I want to paint an overcast sky. I don't want all my old layouts that I've done with my dad, myself and stuff. I've always had the beautiful blue sky with the clouds. I painted all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? I want this a little bit more gritty. I want an overcast, cloudy kind of sky. So I've been practicing that, and I got to paint that on the backdrop that I have up there, and then I can start putting the roadbed down and the track and go from there.
What era are you aiming to model?
That's where it's a little more freelance. I got the Broadway Limited. They came out with the little B6. It's an 060 switcher.
Yeah.
It's been my favorite engine since I was a little kid, because it was like my first engine I ever got was a little slope back tender 060 little switcher. And when I saw Broadway Limited announce that about a year and a half ago, I was like, I got to get one. I got to get one of those. But then I also like small diesel switchers and stuff. So it's going to be probably like mid 60s. I'll just pretend that this one little steam engine is still working in lines and stuff, because hey, it's my layout. I can do whatever the hell I want. But then mainly most of the other stuff will be small switchers and stuff like that. SW whatever's.
If you go to the Philadelphia Beltline website, philadelphiabeltline.com, they only have like 6.5 miles of track.
Yeah, and before it used to be from the very south end of Philly along the Delaware, almost where like the sports complex is. There was a huge yard down there where all like the Eagles and Phillies and stuff play, and it would go all the way north along the Delaware, up Delaware Avenue, and it would go all the way up to what's the yard? There's a huge yard at the north end that's still there. It's not as huge as it once was, but the tracks were all along Delaware Avenue was all cobblestone, and all the industries. It was all there was nothing like the Route 95 was not existed. It was all warehouses and waterfronts and car floats and just track everywhere. That's all gone. None of that exists anymore. Route 95 just basically goes through there, and then Delaware Avenue. My dad grew up in that area, and he used to say that when women were late with their pregnancy, they were overdue, the husbands would drive them down Delaware Avenue, and because the road was so bad, it would bounce them. It would bounce them around so much that it would cause them to go into labor, and they head
like
to the
kid
hospital.
right out of them. Huh?
Yeah, shake them right out.
It's called. They refer to it as PBL, which is also a brass locomotive manufacturer, I think. PBL, or was at some point. Silence. Yep. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I remember that name, PBL. What were you guys saying before? Shorby or Shorzy or something?
Shorpy.
How do you spell that?
With a Y.
SHORPY.
Yep.
Okay. I think somebody steered me towards that view. SHORPY.
Oh,
that's a fantastic reference.
Yeah, that really is a rabbit hole if you're looking at historic buildings and all that. And I can see where you could draw inspiration from this
all
website.
Kinds of stuff. Yep.
Yeah,
there's stuff from all over the world.
I think I looked at it once or twice, and I found pictures of a young girl operating her dad's model railroad in 1922 or something like that. And it was like very, very cool. Yeah, like look, I'm looking at it now. Like there's a picture here in Buffalo, New York, home of the Bills. Go Bills. The Prudential Building near the corner of Church and Pearl. I know this building. It's an early skyscraper.
Huh. Oh yeah, check that out. Yeah. And right below it, I see Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's a nice.
Man,
that's a great photo.
Have you ever had any? Have you ever
Go ahead.
have you ever had any thoughts of building? Man, the other thing they've got along the side is like great billboards that you could make for HOs for any size HONO.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Posters. Yeah.
Posters are just beautiful. Have you ever had any thoughts about trying to do some sort of urban models?
What's with some of the Harbor Street kits that are coming out? They're a little bit more urban, Main Street type of stuff, and then also with this new layout, it's going to make me do a little bit more urban type of stuff. Not like ITLA. Like I said, Nick can have all his ITLA stuff and everything, but then I'll try and come up with some ideas where I can have some urban skyscrapery type of buildings and have my flair on my take on that a little bit.
Sure.
See what I can come up with.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking kind of in the city classics genre, like 4 or 5 story, stone buildings, brick buildings.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, like I got the engraving, like the brick and the stone and all that stuff. The engraving on the in the laser that's coming out pretty good, so I can pull some of that off.
I found some vintage photos of Birmingham, Alabama. I'm sure we can find one with Derek standing right there.
Yeah,
well.
There we go.
Almost certainly he's in there.
Yeah, Derek is everywhere. Go ahead, Daniel.
One of the nice things about Shorpy is you can take a great kit like Ron's making, and you can build it and it look fantastic, and you can plant it in the layout, and it just not ever look quite right because everything around it isn't quite right. But Shorpy is great for a lot of city street scenes. Like there's one on here. It is the St. John's River circa 1910, lunch hour on the levee. You look through that photo, which it's a large photo. Clicking on it provides a very detailed blow up of the image. But the stuff on the street, now this is 1910, so there's a lot of wagons. But the groups of wagons where they're waiting, to haul freight, and the just stuff on the street really brings those buildings to life. And so Shorpy is a fantastic reference for what does the street look like. Not so much the buildings. I mean, although there's really great examples there, but what does the street look like to help you plant all of those in for a really nice scene?
Yeah, it's a good reference. I gotta close this window before I get I'm up till 1 o'clock.
Exactly. There's so much. So do you have the thing with when I started the podcast, I'd be like who are we going to talk to? And it's like, I have a list, and I have a list of 30 deep or 40 deep of people we could talk to. Probably in the tens of thousands of people we could talk to. Is that kind of what happens when you get into the kit manufacturing business? At first, you thought, how am I, you built one and now I got to find another. But now you probably, because time has passed, you probably have a list a mile long, do you?
Oh, yeah. And people send me ideas. And then I have, like I said, I have my sketches that I have pictures that I've saved. I'll pull off on the side of the road, and thank goodness for iPhones. I just take pictures of a building on the side of the road. My wife has gotten used to that now. There's inspiration everywhere.
I found it.
Not enough time.
I found it. It's called Swartzel, SWARTZELL Railroad, 1925. And it's a picture of a young girl, I'd say about 7, 8, 9. And December 11th, 1925, Washington, D.C., Margaret Swartzel is operating her father's model railroad. In 1925, it's not just a model railroad, it's a system. Who can tell us more? Go. Wow.
Nice.
So the hobby's easily over 100 years old now. We already knew that, but it's kind of cool to find this stuff.
And back then, they were probably complaining about the prices, too.
Yeah, probably.
And it's still dying.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's still dying. Yeah, it's been dying for 100+ years. Yeah.
There's a whole section of this website that's railroad photography. I'm just looking at it. I just came across.
Yeah.
It's a staggering rabbit hole.
Yep. We lost Marcus.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you just put it, well, and that's what I've said before. Railroad photographers or rail fans who take pictures, they're not really taking pictures of railroading. They're taking history pictures. They're taking pictures that record history.
Yep.
That's the thing that really is the coolest thing about railroad photography. Like, I mean, here's one from 1891, and it's like 1940. There's like tons. This is there's a cool Conoco gasoline station. George Elm, man, that's a cool little thing. Wow.
Oh God, I like gas stations. I got another kit to build.
Do you have any plans on building another limited run kit?
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I have a few different ideas. I haven't hammered out exactly what I want to do, but I do want to. After I get these next couple buildings out of the way of that Main Street buildings, I want to. I think I might turn my attention to doing another limited run.
How do you figure out? I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I'm not going to say what it is because I couldn't tell you because I'm not sure which one I want to do yet.
No, you can tell us.
There's a few in the works. Nobody's listening. I know.
Nobody's listening. Actually, last month we had over 11,000 downloads. I was like, wow.
They turned it off once they heard us talking about dirt.
Yeah, dirt. Yeah, just dirt.
just dirt.
Dirt.
Yeah. That's gonna
Remember, folks, if you want to see more of Ron's layout being built, be sure and buy bags of dirt because without you buying that dirt, he's not digging a basement.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We got to. So the only way this is going to happen is if you buy bags of dirt.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask a question. I can't remember.
Like buying war bonds, really.
Yeah, dirt. But dirt is the dirt you can use. You can plant trees or something.
Now, Lionel, would you say his prices for the dirt is dirt cheap?
Yeah,
Dirt.
Yeah, exactly. That. Yeah.
Can we just kick him off for that joke alone?
Yeah, I think so.
I work at a cemetery. I can make them disappear.
Oh yeah, you still working there?
Oh yeah, I love it.
I hear people are dying to get in there.
Oh, I've heard that one before.
I'll bet you
gotta
have.
leave, then you gotta leave too.
Yeah. I bet you have heard that like 1,000 times.
Yep. I've fought it 1,000 times when I'm sitting there working. Yeah, but I mean, it's not. It's also I work at a church and a school, and yeah, it's all over the place. But the cemetery part's what raises the eyebrows on people. Like, whoa, you what? I'm like, yep.
Yeah, but you're only digging the hole, aren't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're not hanging
He's the last person to let you down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I do that. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
And then I cover you with just dirt.
Yeah. If I gotta leave, David, you have to walk out into Lake Michigan and keep going.
Right.
How far do you live from Lake Michigan, David?
I'm about 1.5 miles.
Yeah, it shouldn't take you that long to get there then.
It'll be a long walk off of a short pier.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We've run out of time with our new shorter
I'm
podcast.
sad about that.
Are
I
you
was
sad?
enjoying the discussion.
Well, if you have another question, feel free to ask it. Do you have any
Well, I don't
do you have any
directly,
comment?
it's just-
Do you have any comments or questions?
It's just been a very fun podcast.
It has been a great podcast.
We've gathered more dirt on Ron.
Well, and Ron, is this a problem for you? Yeah, we gathered some dirt on Ron. Yeah. Oh my God. Notice Marcus is being quiet. He doesn't want any part of this.
Right. Staying out of all this.
He says he's not going to be part of the ratings fall.
Yeah.
He's keeping himself clean.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
So I do have a question. Ron, how long do you think it takes to develop up a limited run kit like that? Like typically how many months?
Well, since I only did one, I could.
Mhm.
That was a few months.
Typical's
Yeah.
a small sample pool then.
Yep. It was a few months. It was quite a few months. I mean, it was like off and on. I would get away from it for a little bit. Sometimes I'd take a week off away from it, but yeah, it could be a few months. And then building the diorama and the photographs, and then I'm telling you, packing that thing was a beast. There were so many parts to that.
And it was a beast because you had to keep making the parts. You had to have all the parts and spread out. Or
Yeah, I would I would do a whole bunch of them at the same time because it was if I'm going to be agonizing over that, then yeah, I would pack a whole bunch of it at one shot. Especially right in the beginning when I was packing a whole bunch, a whole bunch. Then yeah, it was getting tedious, and like I said, there was just so many sheets of parts to that because of all the different buildings and the structures and the chunks of wood and the 3D details that were included, and basically everything that you see in those pictures was included except for the water and the concrete block wall.
Right. So you had to, I guess, as you went along building kits and learning the business, one of the things you had to do is you probably learned that you had to write everything down so that when you were ready to start packing the kit, you knew which pieces to put in that.
Yeah, I make up sheets. They're part sheets for like quality control. I learned that after about a year. I started designing those because before I'd have it written down on a piece of paper, saying, oh, I need 5 of the 1/8 by 1/8 pieces of wood and this sheet of windows and doors or walls, whatever. But then I started designing these sheets that I would print out on almost like blueprints, be like about 20 by 30 for a decent sized kit, and I have all the parts on there, all the sheets, actual size, so that as I cut the parts, I can lay them on those sheets. And then let's say I'm packing 10 kits, I would make sure I had 10 of each part there. And as I'm packing the boxes, if I had a part left over, if I had one left, I'm like, that means one of these kits is missing a part for some. So it ended up being a good quality control. And I also included how many pieces of wood and bundles and what 3D details I would include in the kit. So it made it much easier and more streamlined. So less likely for people to be shorted a part in a kit. It was a good quality control thing that I came up with.
And your instructions. I'm telling everybody that's listening that one of the great things is kits are great. Mind Mount Models kits are great. Their details are great. But one of the best things about Mind Mount Models is the instructions. Your tip of the hat to you for doing such spectacular instructions.
And writing instructions for anything is difficult because you know your kit, you know what you've manufactured, you know what you mean. Do you ever write the instructions and then have someone kind of test the instructions to see if someone else can build it?
Not build it. I just read it, read over it and stuff. All the pictures that you see in the instructions are me building my display model. So I put, as I'm building it, I don't write the directions as you see them. I'll put notes and take pictures of every single step, and sometimes several pictures of the same step, just because I'm not sure how I'm going to use it in the final directions. And I'll put it like a note of what I did for that particular part, that step, and then I'll go back and I'll expand the wording and stuff and I'll just use the pictures as reference. Okay, I remember doing this. I got to put this piece on here and connect the front wall to the side walls and that type of thing. But I've never had anybody build it. But I mean, I think I'm pretty thorough. I hope. It seems like I cover every step.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that you can write it that detailed and make it work. Because I mean, really, writing instructions on how do you do your job, it's really difficult.
It's a pain.
Well,
it's a pain, but
you have to eliminate the bias of it's my kit, so of course I know how to put it together, which can really creep into an instruction set where you miss something because it's really obvious to you. But to somebody dumping the box out for the first time, it's like, oh no, hey, that's kind of a miss. How did I get from this step to this step because there's nothing in the instructions for? It's really easy to do that.
And the good thing is, especially with the when I put them on the website, I added that a couple of years ago. I started putting them on the website. If somebody did come in and say, "Oh, between steps, 5 and 6, I don't understand what happened here," I can change the file and upload a new PDF, and then I just say, "Okay, the new instructions are available on the website, and any kits in the future will have the new directions." So that hasn't happened many times, just probably a couple times. But if anybody has any suggestions, I'm always up for suggestions of how to improve a step or something I might have missed. Don't be shy on telling me where I screwed up.
Okay, well, I think your next building should be Lionel's Linen Supplies.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Lionel's
White Rose Nurseries.
No, I think Lionel's Linen Supplies is a good suggestion. David, you seem very hostile towards me. And I just bought you a whole thing of glues to try out.
I'm just finally warming up.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
That's it. We're going to stop. Marcus, can you give out our email address?
I sure can. If you'd like to reach us by email and tell us how much you like the podcast or don't, want to give us something to read on the air on viewer mail, we'd love for you to send us an email at modellerslife@gmail.com. And we'll use some Mind Mountain models here for reference. So that's going to be modeler with one L like skips, bait, and tackle, not two L's like cooning, rope, and pulley.
Ah, sweet. I like that. Always
the kits from Mind Mountain Models.
Yeah, exactly.
Mind Mount Models. I keep saying
Mount Models.
Mind Mount Models. I always want to say mountain for some reason.
It's the road I live on.
I prepped as we went in case Lionel called on me.
Okay.
I was set. So
well, you know what, Daniel? Here's what I was thinking when you were saying you were really enjoying this podcast.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, the last viewer mail we did, you might have really enjoyed that one too. If you'd been there.
I bookended it really nicely.
That's true.
I can't wait to hear it.
You had so many speaking parts in that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We had to get a fill in. And we have, if you missed that, you go to our website, amodellerslife.com, and you scroll down a little bit on, there's a contact form, and the email address is already filled out for you. All you got to do is put in your subject and your text, and boom, hit send, and away it goes. And then it shows up at our offices as a spam. But we've fixed that.
Then we've told Lionel not to delete that spam.
Yeah,
we'll
don't
read
delete
that on the air.
Those are actually emails. Ah, okay. And don't forget, we still have our 10% discount, do we not, at Mind Mount Models for the Patreon members?
Yep. What is that?
Tables 10. Tables 10.
Tables 10. Yep. That's it.
You know what our next contest is going to be? If you buy something from if you contact Mind Mount Models and contact them, you can get a kit. You will get you a kit from Mind Mount Models. We'll pick out a kit.
Nice.
Yeah, like
is it going to be Lionel's linens?
No, I don't think so. I didn't get the feeling that really took off somehow.
Lionel's leather shop.
Yeah, it just didn't.
Yeah, that seems more Lionel's speed.
You know what? Well, you know what it'll be? Yeah, Lionel's leather shop. Yeah, that's it. There you go. That works. Or Lionel's leather factory.
Leatherworks.
Which reminds me of one of the greatest speeding stories between Toronto and Montreal I ever heard in my life. But I'll tell it off the air. And maybe if somebody asks someday, we'll tell it on the air. It did not involve me. It had nothing to do with me. I just heard it from one of my friends. You know what? After this contest, it'll be, if you contact Mind Mount Models and tell them Lionel sent you, you'll get a free Glenn's Greasy Spoon kit.
Perfect one.
An HR
That's
scale. In honor of your mom's husband. And that's it. So this is on the free channel, whiterosehobbies.com. Go there. They're our sponsor. We appreciate that very much. And this is on the free channel. And if you like this podcast and you'd like twice as much podcasting every week, you just go over to our website, sign up on Patreon, and just for a few cents a day, you'll get twice as much podcasting a week. And I'm hoping by the next time. Oh, my son's calling me. Look at that. I'll have to call him back in a minute.
Live on the air.
Live on the air. My son's calling me, but I'll have to call him back. My first caller.
Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, Poughkeepsie. So where were we? Oh, yeah. And then if you move up to the T-shirt level, you're entering into the contest that's sweeping the nation. Hey, dude, where's my shirt? But we sent out some packages. Things are we're working our way through the backlog.
Have I moved? Have I moved off of the backlog?
Yeah, you're off the backlog.
All right. I'm glad somebody else is freed up to take that next spot.
Yeah, we actually found the fellow that's next is Brandon Broach. Branch. Brandon, I know I'm massacring your name. But I was talking to him last night. So also, if you're a member of Patreon, every Wednesday night we have this great chat group that everybody gets together, and it's a lot of fun. And I was talking to Brandon last night, and he's one of the people that's in the contest. And I said, hey, look at that. You're next. So he's very excited.
He was elated.
He was elated. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's it. We're done. Are we not? Have we covered everything? I believe so.
I think so.
All right.
Seems like.
Yeah. So I think this is not an episode. This is just a catching up with Ron, catching up with Mind Mount Models. So, Ron, at the appropriate time, we'll need you to say something witty.
Appropriate?
Witty.
Oh, okay. I'll dig deep.
Okay. So remember, a Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
people lost on Shorpy until 3 a.m.
It's another Lincoln Homer.
There you go. Nice.
There you are.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, because it is. That's exactly what it is. It's one of those sites you get on and you can't get off.
Oh, it's bad.
I know. I'm doom scrolling now.
I know.
I had to close it. I was on the podcast. I had to close it. I was like, I got to get away from this thing. I'm like half paying attention to what these guys are saying.